Hi, everyone. This is Marianne from Revealing Light Tarot, Astrology and Spirituality. I wanted to do a solstice reading. Of course, we've got the winter solstice on the 21st of December 2022 in the US, in the Northern Hemisphere, where we have the shortest day. Southern Hemisphere on the 22nd of December 2022, where we have our longest day. And of course, the solstice was a time that represented death and rebirth to our ancestors, and very much connected with the Earth's relationship with the sun, our life force, and the seasons of time. In fact, there's some places of spiritual power, like Stonehenge, that at the time of the solstice has a direct link with the sun, whether it's sunrise or sunset. So that alignment, of course, is again symbolic of the ancients' relationship with the sun and the earth, the growth. To me, when I got up this morning, I'm feeling the energies of the solstice. I went up to my local aquatic center and hopped into the hydrotherapy pool and moved around, walked basically for an hour, and moved and swam in that pool. On my way up there, as I was driving, my blinker must have hit, the sunlight must have hit the orange of my blinker at the time that I was coming to a road sign. It was illuminated orange, and I thought, I don't have my lights on. This is amazing. This is weird, actually. So I said, Spirit, this is a bit weird, because it just glowed orange, and it stopped, literally I had to stop and think about it, and I thought, no, that must be it's not, I don't have my lights on. That's the way the sun is hitting my blinker. As I turned right into another road, straight ahead of me up in the sky was the cloud formation in an arrow, and it was precisely in the middle of the sky. And I really felt into that moment, because I take note. I live a spiritual life. I take note of these things. And I felt the power of a big shift, of leaving the old behind and doing the work to move into the new. We're all part of that work. It doesn't matter, how we contribute as a collective. We're all part of that birthing, the death of something old and the rebirthing of something new. When I got into the hydrotherapy pool, there are a whole group of, I would just call them elder statesmen of my community, the people, the movers and shakers who'd done a lot of work and built a lot of things in our community over the years, but they were of an older generation. And I thought, it's sort of time for the young people to come online. I was reading some analysis of the midterm votings in the US, and the youth it's not coming. The youth is online, and there's a pattern of young voters voting to protect freedom of rights, freedom of choice, and democracy. So again, when I had that dream the other day, I woke up to the words, and again, Spirit planting those words, hope, hope, hope. It was quite a powerful dream. These things only happen 2 or 3 times in my life, where I wake up with a deliberate plant of the word hope, hope, hope. Okay, let's take a look at the astrology. It's quite interesting, because to me it screams, where is the revolution happening? It's also happening with women. I've cast the chart over Washington, D.C., but basically the solstice chart can be cast at any location. The planets in the signs won't change. It's just which houses they're in. But for this purpose, we've cast it over Washington. Let's take a look at the chart. Okay. All right, so where are we? So I think solstice, 21st of December 2022, Washington, D.C., at around 4:48 p.m. So where would I look first? I mean, I read astrology both with knowledge, but also intuitively as well. I let the chart take me where it will. And that's my approach. Everyone has their own approach, and you'll get all types of astrologers, but this is my approach. I go straight to the 10th house because we've got the asteroids that represent women and healing and wounds. Then we've got Neptune in Pisces, and we've also got Jupiter that is at 0 degrees 7, just moved into Aries alongside Chiron there in Aries, the wound that becomes very, very obvious. Equally, we've got a trine down to the moon in Sagittarius, the moon being the feminine. Of course, the sun is also still in Sagittarius, the life force. And so we get this birth and this death and rebirth scenario. And to me, this chart, as alongside, what the cards might represent, we'll be talking about the old patriarchal system giving way to the new. And a part of that is looking at the deception, looking at, the confidence men that we're seeing in the world today, and also the struggle of women. I mean, it's no accident at this time, or it's part of divine timing, I should say, to see women all across the world in one way or another fighting for their equality, fighting to protect their rights, fighting to protect their choices. And up in this 10th house, we have the asteroids here that are associated with women. Vesta, the home, the keeper of the home, the hearth, the stability, alongside Juno, which is the Roman goddess. Her equivalent in the Greek mythology was Hera, but Roman goddess Juno was a counselor of state. She was she oversighted or presided over, or her main themes were equality in partnerships, fairness. So you have these two asteroids here in the 10th house, sitting alongside each other in Pisces, right next to Neptune. Now, Neptune, of course, in Pisces is a powerful manifestor. If we can either choose to go down a pathway that will bring upon us more of the same sort of conditions we've seen developing over the last decade, or we can choose something new. So this old patriarchal system giving way to this new. What is the new? The new is the people power. What is part of that people power? Who is leading the revolution? It is both women and young people. So patriarchal systems giving way to the new people power. So Neptune in Pisces, I've talked about this a lot in all my astrology readings. What are we bringing into form? And Jupiter in Aries, we get a shot at recreating our collective identity. We get a shot at taking action against pathways that others might want to lead us down, and creating new pathways for ourselves. Part of that is the power structures, because you can't make these choices and walk down these pathways if you don't have the power to manifest. Well, guess what? That's why I know the billionaires like Trump with a small t, and T, I said, and Elon Musk and Putin and any others that represent this old patriarchal system. I know that they're not going to thrive in our future world. I know that the veneer is being stripped away. The Ayatollah Khomeini over in Iran, and the revolution that is being led by women and the men that support them. the fundamentalism is being seen for what it is, suppression of a beautiful, thriving Persian culture where women were respected and empowered. So this Neptune in Pisces exposes that kind of deception. The scales literally fall from our eyes, and we get to see the I guess the emperor without their clothes. We get to see the reality. We get to see the truth. And now it appears with Jupiter moving into Aries in that 10th house, we're going to see some action, which is why I keep saying, get your popcorn out, because you haven't seen anything yet. All of these struggles, though, we've got the deep square, the square here, red lines, tensions, oppositions, conflicts, blue lines, trines, sextiles, harmony and flow. But we've got this square here, this red line with the sun in Sagittarius. Now, sun in Sagittarius in the 6th house over Washington, D.C., if we're going to talk about houses, speaks of public service and exposing. You just look at what the January 6th committee has recently brought down, those referrals for indictments for Trump and others around him. They have recently voted to publicly release Trump, the small t's tax returns. This is about sacrifice and public service for that higher good. And when we look at the people that are driving this forward, you have two very powerful women in Congress. You've got Nancy Pelosi. And then to make this a bipartisan committee, we had Liz Cheney and Adam Kinzinger, both who forfeited their own political careers at this time to lend that bipartisan support to the January 6th committee. So we've got action here. We've got action to expose the deception. And if you think, as I said, that we're done yet, we're not done yet. You're going to see a lot of that exposure over the coming months. I've done a few 2023 readings. I've got a glimpse of the future. And it's got the first part of the year is going to be very, very interesting. So the opposition here, of course, this other red line is for the moon in Sagittarius in the 6th house is opposing Mars in Gemini. Mars is retrograde in Gemini at the moment, and it'll start to move forward on January the 12th in that 12th house. So December has been, it's been a month where we've had a lot of progress, but we've also had some kind of deceptive stuff as well. But we're getting to uncover that, and we'll be doing more of that in the new year. We have politicians making up their resumes. Republican politician in New York, a deep exposure. I don't know what on his resume has actually been the truth. Watch that space. My feeling is he probably will be forced to step down. And again, we move closer and closer to eroding a razor-thin majority on the Republican side, particularly if you get Congress members who may be caught up in the DOJ's January the 6th investigation. So at this time, the moon is the feminine, of course. It's the soul, it's the emotions. In Sagittarius, Sagittarius is future looking. So the solstice is occurring, always occurs in the winter solstice and the summer solstice occur in Sagittarius. What is Sagittarius? Sagittarius is future gazing. Sagittarius also represents the law. So we've got this kind of like an inevitable, the 12th house, Mars retrograde in the 12th house. It kind of, the 12th house is endings. And it kind of tells you that Sagittarius is on the move. So this confusing type of December that we've had, the confusion is going to dissipate. in 2023, and there's going to be a lot of progress. I'm not saying it's going to be easy or not without its ups and downs, but there's more of a feeling of certainty than we've had over the last 3 years in 2023. So what help are we getting here in this chart, in this solstice chart? We've got Uranus, of course, with sitting alongside conjunct the North Node, and it's trining Venus in Capricorn. Venus and Mercury are sitting alongside one another in Capricorn in the 7th house. Mercury, planet of communication. Venus can represent finances as well. And Capricorn, of course, being the financial systems, partnerships that we have with financial systems. We're getting to see up in that 11th house how we might have been conned through by these, I guess, the cryptocurrency exchange. No accident, Trump with a small t has released digital trading cards, which are actually pyramid schemes. We're starting to see that some of the things that Musk has been portraying about himself aren't necessarily accurate. We're getting to see the alliances there with the fossil fuel oligarchs. We've seen the alliances between the oligarchs in Russia and Putin and American politics and politicians. We understand that cryptocurrency may have paid some oath keepers. What else are we going to find out? I've said that Jack Smith, the special counsel, is on the money trail. Garland is on the money trail, and I think we're going to find out a lot more than what we literally banked on about the extent of foreign money in our politics. So I'll go to Pluto. Pluto in Capricorn. We're seeing, what is this people power? Well, Saturn in Aquarius in the 9th house, telling us that people power brings us stability. Concentration of power into the hands of the few does not necessarily bring us progress. So Pluto in the 8th house is all about letting go. Still in Capricorn, letting go of that old patriarchal system. Now, Pluto will move into Aquarius in March, where it stays there for a couple of months before retrograding back into Capricorn, and then ultimately in 2024 into Aquarius for the longer haul. We get a taste of Aquarian energy in March. And I think, when you see those indictments start to fall in the first part of the year, that's our Aquarian energy. That's the voters not giving the Senate to the Republicans. That's the voters, the suburban women, the women in Kansas and other states like that in the US. Giving power to those that are going to take the collective forward, not create more instability for them. It's about what is best for the majority of people. Saturn in Aquarius is squaring Uranus in Taurus. The speed, it's like Saturn in Aquarius is the anchor, the speed of which the progress is being made. Saturn in Aquarius is our good friend in these times of lightning change. As I said, the Tower card sitting side by side, the Chariot is kind of like what it's like at the moment, with the Ace of Swords driving everything forward, which is the truth. Okay, so I want to go down to Ceres in Libra. I think that's really important. I think Ceres is a very underrated asteroid. And in Libra, that is the planet of, Libra is the sign that we most associate with justice. The 4th house over Washington, D.C., of course, is home, security. It's also the feminine. And of course, Ceres was the goddess of agriculture and abundance. So again, we see a lot happening around the financial systems. And I go over to the second house in Washington, Pallas Athene, again, another asteroid. She is associated with, again, justice, and Black Moon Lilith. Again, another association with women. They're sitting alongside each other in Cancer in the second house in Washington. So, I mean, for me, this is about women bringing through change in our politics as much as anything else. And I understand that the two voting demographics that got the Democrats this kind of historical, unprecedented result in the midterms were women and young people. And this isn't an accident or a fluke. This happened in the midterms in 2018. I remember reading on that, and I said, these two demographics are going to bring you forward a win. 2020 election, same thing, and now 2022 midterm. It's not an accident. If the Republicans are wanting to win elections, they have to redefine themselves. They have to first understand what sort of wounds they've inflicted. And this is all part of the change. And hope. I know that I can be hopeful about change going in the right direction, because I understand the power of the future. You can't delay it. You can't fight against it. And it is the people who are determining the future, the majority who are determining the future. You can't, once you've harnessed people power, there is nothing that will beat it. So in 2023, and I think the solstice marking this huge shift that I've been talking about, is all about seeing more of that people power, more about seeing that Aquarius energy, more about seeing that justice, more about women and young people stepping forward to be heard, stepping forward as the voice of change, more about the old patriarchal system falling away, as it has been. It won't fall away completely in the short term. This is a process. But we're seeing, I think, in the next few months, events which will leave us in no doubt that that old patriarchal system is falling away. Okay, so I'll leave that there for the astrology, and we'll move into the tarot now. What is ending and what is beginning, and the work that we're doing. The work that we're doing right at this moment to actualize these new cycles. The work is by no means over. The work is constant. But I just feel that we're no longer treading water. We're moving forward, and there's a big shift occurring at the time of the solstice. So show me what is occurring here. What is occurring with the solstice? No matter what part of the world you're in, what is happening? I could go through each country and look at that. And I do a lot of that in January. I look at each of the countries. My own country here in Australia, we have our former Prime Minister in China expert, Taiwan expert, Asia expert, Kevin Rudd, going to be the US ambassador. No doubt he'll be contributing to, on behalf of Australia, to what affects us all in the Pacific region. We have our foreign minister heading off to, she's actually in China at the moment, meeting with Xi Jinping, trying to look at ways forward, diplomatic ways forward, to restart the punishment that China meted out to Australia in the Trump years, when our former Prime Minister, anyway, we lost billions and billions of dollars in exports. She's in there trying to find a way forward, trying to be firm with China through hard diplomacy, but also looking at how we can move forward in the relationship. Zelensky's in Washington. My heart for the Ukrainians. but also for the Palestinians, also for the Iran, the Persian culture, the women in Iran. So much change is occurring. The US president making moves to strengthen African ties, and the UN, which is in much need of reform, the UN Security Council looking to vote on evicting Russia. Such should have been done a long time ago. The invasion of Ukraine going on. All right, all change, all massive changes, and climate change as well. I think in Canada there was a major climate summit. Often we think of, what in terms of climate change, are we fighting this losing battle? But we rarely think about what policies are helping and how are they helping in relation to climate change. All right, old and new, show me the messages, the conditions that we face as we enter this 21st of December, if you're in the northern, 22nd of December, if you're in the southern hemispheres. Show me the energies, the messages for the winter solstice. Wow, okay, so there's a loss and a grieving for what has gone behind us. Fives is numerology, is the number of change. Some of us are feeling like that. Some of us are feeling regret and remorse. It's a signifier card. What's crossing it? Change, Wheel of Fortune, movement forward. Jupiter in Aries energy. I respond well as a Sagittarian when Jupiter moves into a fellow fire sign, another fire sign. But all of us will be responding. Jupiter is a massive beneficial planet, and in Aries, first house, Aries, it's about change, huge changes. It's a time also to let go of the regret and loss as well, and understand that looks mighty like the chariot there sitting atop of the Wheel of Fortune. Understand that that we are in a period of moving into strength. We've got the lion here in this deck. We have the ox, looks like an ox with wings, the lion. What else have we got here? Yes, looks like the it's that and some kind of bird, eagle. And then we've got man, eagle, falcon. Don't think it's a vulture. Hopefully it's not a vulture. We have tens, finishing cycles and beginning new ones. The death card. No wonder we're grieving for what we've lost in a way. I mean, who has even come to terms with the losses that we experienced during the COVID pandemic? Whether it be people dying or the anti-vax movement springing up, the loss of our freedoms, the loss if you're in business. It's about this sort of energy, but things are changing. I've done the tarot scopes for the 2023, and even though there's challenges and ups and downs in 2023, nearly every sign I felt the energy of change. We have the need in the past. Number one, what got us here was actually facing the truth, as uncomfortable as that is. It's about the truth. Now we're dealing with the truth. All right, let's see what's in the sky. The sun and the moon in Sagittarius at this time. This is a Sagittarian card. She has a black cat. She has the Ace of Wands here. She also has a sunflower, interestingly enough. She has the passion. This is the women in the fifth house, opposing the patriarchal as well. There's a lot of change. And it's no accident in America or in other places where we've got not only gender wars, but we also have the patriarchal type of archetype, trying to take away a woman's right to choose what happens with her own body. You know, Helen Reddy, she was an Australian Hear Me Roar. I am woman, hear me roar. And that's exactly where we're at here. It's in the astrology, it's in the cards. It has been in the cards for at least the last 12 months. So we have defending ourselves from that. The way, you know, Neptune in Pisces can be about choices and choosing which pathway, choosing what comes into form. But this person is successfully fending off those attacks, 7 of Rods, standing the ground and successfully fending off the attacks. And of course, there's new growth on all those wands. The solstice, shifting the old and allowing the new to come in. The here and now, we have the Uranus in conjunct the North Node, that energy that breaks down the tower, destroys the structures that no longer serve us, the Chariot alongside the tower. And we have the 10 of Swords, the ending of cycles. Wow, that's in the here and now. If you think we've had a tough 2022, 2021, 2020, you'd be exactly right, because these were the years of the hardest yards. Let's see what's in the hopes and fears, the abuse of power. Again, that's why the confidence, men and women, con artists, those that are not what they appear to be. We've seen what happens, the consequences, almost sort of like on the brink, the edge. We fear that. And the hope is, with that Ace of Swords in the past, that we bring more of the truth into being. Wow. The Ace of Pentacles. The Ace of Pentacles in the outcome, the new. So we have death and the old at the foundation, and the outcome is the new, rebirthing. Solstice energy, death and rebirth, clarified by the King of Swords. What does the King of Swords have? The King of Swords has the Ace of Swords in his hand, his or her hand. So this is what we're doing. We're bringing into light this Aquarian energy. The Aquarian energy will not be unfortunate for us, will actually be fortunate for us, fortunate for the collective. Justice, Lady Justice in this pack, which is the Golden Art Nouveau Tarot, holds the Ace of Swords and the Scales of Justice. People power. What do the people bring forward? They bring justice, equality. There's also strategy and planning and kick-ass type moves. I love it. Base of the pack is the Virgo on the descendant. What is behind us moving? Virgo helps us see the detail of things. Virgo helps us pierce through the illusion. Virgo plays its role. It really does. Virgo is the workhorse of the zodiac. It's not only about striving to be the best I can. It's about going through the lessons to become the best I can. Virgo leads us through the dark tunnel with the light. The Hermit. The World card. The endings and beginnings, and the Strength card, the major arcana, is at the base of the pack, the underlying energies. So, moving toward something new, moving toward revolutions for women, moving toward the truth, actualizing, dealing with, processing the truth. And we become stronger as we do it. Amazing, 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 amazing card. No wonder I felt the energies, the powerful energies of the solstice this morning, and I was led to do this reading. All right, that's it for now. I'm just going to stop recording and say I probably will check in probably just a verbal video before Christmas, and to let you know what's coming up for the New Year reads and my annual predictions and my annual tarot scopes and my predictive readings in January and where I'll be in January, etc. I'll do that before Christmas. But for now, thanks for tuning in. Thank you for your generous support. And whether it's a comment, whether it's for my dog who is recovering, turn the corner, will be with me for a long time yet. I guess the simplest way to say it is thank you. Bye for now.